Welcome to my podcast, Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. I'm so excited you are here. You'll hear some incredible stories about how people are serving around the world, how they overcame a struggle, how they serve. These shows will give you an edge in business and your personal life. I believe serving over sales will help you grow in so many ways. And now, about our incredible sponsor, Info. Info is a web app that puts your business on people's cell phones when you meet people online or in person. They can engage with your business or send out referrals with a button click, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The power of business is connecting with more people. Remember, your network is your net worth. Info will do this for you. I would love to help spread the word about these shows, so please subscribe to this podcast and find us on all your podcast platforms. Please share with anyone you know who could benefit from our shows. Please enjoy the show. Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. As you know, I like to serve, and I got two wonderful servants for their business and for other businesses, for medium, small businesses. You've all heard of ERTC or ERC, and they've got some unique ways that they're helping businesses and serving them. Michael and Steve, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Great to be here.
Well, let's get
I'm
started.
squeezed between two Steves.
Yes, you are. It's a good thing. Let's get into ERC, ERTC. What's that about, and what are people going to learn?
Okay. ERC is Employee Retention Credits. A year ago, that was a foreign term that almost no one had heard of. And now a lot of people are becoming much more familiar because you're having Chamber of Commerce, you're having other types of organizations that are realizing that businesses are still struggling because this was all created under the CARES Act. That was 2020, and it was created with the PPP loan money. So there was two programs built under the same piece of legislation by Congress to make sure that businesses, the lifeblood of America, were able to stay floating when back then we didn't know, there was no vaccine even on the horizon back then. So this is really a system designed not just to help businesses stay going, but to replenish or recover or refund the amount of money that, I call them second responders, the entrepreneurs, the business owners that reached into their pocket. And many of them, because I've worked with over 5,000 of these business owners, okay? Over 2,000 of them have already been paid on all 6 quarters, and they are done, and they are, I call them the Irish jig, because when they get all 6 checks that come from U.S. Department of Treasury, I get everything from people screaming in my ear that they are so excited that their business is being propped up, their capital fund is being replenished. And I get the other end where people are so happy they're crying because they're like, you just don't understand that this is keeping our business going, and not just business for the business owner's family, but the family of the employees that all businesses create. That's what's really great about this.
That's awesome. And it's great information, but who qualifies? Small, medium, large? Who can we help?
Small and medium businesses up to about 500 employees, all the way down to 1 full-time W-2 employee.
That's easy enough.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys manage that? This is complex. I used to work with a government recycling company, so I got paid through them. How do you guys walk people through this journey with ERTC?
Well, the first thing to do is to find out if they're eligible. And that part has been made significantly easier because we have an online application. It takes the average business owner like 12 minutes to complete some questions. And those questions are really going to find out whether they, number one, had a revenue reduction that qualified them for these benefits. That was what was created under the original CARES Act. But then the other 2 eligibility tests that most tax professionals and bookkeepers and even payroll experts missed was the 2 pieces of legislation that came up in 2021, the Consolidated Appropriation Act of 21 and the American Rescue Plan Act of 21. Both of those made retroactive changes to the CARES Act, but most people didn't track those changes. They are significant, And about 80% of businesses now will qualify for at least one quarter. And that can be significant. There's no reason why they would not want to find out if this grant money, because this is, you have to understand, this is not coming to them as taxable income. This is a refund as a tax credit of payroll taxes that the business owner has already sent into the IRS. So they are refunding you. Therefore, it's not a taxable event. And there's no, this is not a loan. So it's not like PPP or anything like that, that you have to worry about a repayment. There's no interest rate because it's not a loan. You're not repaying it. And the nicest thing about it is there's no restrictions on it. And no restrictions mean that the business owner, if they pull that money to pay their employees out of their retirement account, if they took a second on their mortgage, because I know this has happened, because they wanted to keep those employees that they loved and cared about, that are part of their business, they wanted to make sure that they were able to still feed their family and take care of their obligations. So this money can go back to repay or re-top up, if you want to call that. But if you wanted to put it back in your operating capital account for your business, or you wanted to take a vacation, there's literally no restrictions whatsoever that you can use the ERC money for.
Those famous three letters, IRS, scare people.
They do. And as I had mentioned, I've worked with over 5,000 of them as a troubleshooter on the end of their claims. And what happens is when your checks are mailed to you, guess who the IRS hands the checks off to? U.S. Postal Service. So a check is coming from the U.S. Department of Treasury being carried by the U.S. Postal Service. Well, everybody knows that putting a stamp on something and send it to the U.S. Postal Service, not always going to get to the right place as quickly as we wanted it to. So I have worked through those 5,000, over 2,000 of them, troubleshooting all kinds of issues at the end, okay, where they've already qualified, the IRS has already approved their tax credit, and now the tax credits have to make it to the actual business owner for them to deposit it. So when I tell them, hey, you need to call the IRS to let them know that that check was sent out 6 months ago by your transcript, and they're like, oh my God, I have to call the IRS. And then when they get on the phone with them, I will tell you that they have added so many people to the IRS's call center. They are professionals. They don't always have the perfect answer you want to hear, but they do have a logical process. And I have not seen anyone complain of talking to some scary, rude, obnoxious IRS agent. In fact, it's the opposite of that.
I'm getting excited. I wish I had a company. I want to get my ERC, which I didn't, but that's okay. We're going to help many others, and that's my goal of my podcast. Tell a story, because this, again, it's complex.
Sure.
What's one thing that you want to tell the audience and listeners they need to be aware of with ERC, or help them to move forward to talk to you? Because, again, too good to be true. We talked about before the show.
Sure.
A lot of people talk about that. I've heard that. And you're saying some great things to make it simple, because if it's simple for people with this quick test, you qualify and all that. What's one thing that you've heard that people worry about that you can answer?
One thing, I mean, I feel like I've been 10 years and only it's been about a year and a half for me, but it's, we've really been burning the candles at all ends because we have a deadline. We want to make sure that everyone that does need this gets submitted before the deadline closes. So that's the thing that's been having us work overtime. I think the biggest thing is that people, they want a crystal ball. They want to know, like, there are simplified answers, and there's not. The eligibility test that we have online takes 12 minutes. And a lot of people say, well, Steve, I want to set up a call with you, and I have, 200 what if questions. I'm fine with fielding those 200 questions, but first find out if you're eligible, because 20% of the time, the system is going to kick you out and say, no, you don't have a suspension problem. You were an essential business, let's say, you had no revenue reduction, and this isn't for you. So that way it doesn't waste your time. And that's the most important thing. Business owners don't have enough time. I've been a business owner my entire career. So what we don't want to do is waste their time. So finishing that eligibility is the first. I think that's the biggest thing. The understanding the suspension test from government mandates, that's the biggest thing. That's the aha, is that every single person in the country, every state, had either a federal shutdown on a full or part-time basis. Everyone did for much of 2020, and then depending on your state, every state had different kind of rollback programs. So, Florida and Texas were kind of like the tip of the spear, where they kind of mask off and no 6 foot and everybody go back to business ASAP, where other states really laid back from a contagion problem with Omicron, all those kind of things rolling up. And so they really wanted to stay back in the weeds and make sure they were protecting their citizens. And it was just a judgment call. So I'm not saying which was right or wrong, but different states and different businesses. So that's where the mandatory shutdowns come in. So you qualify for ERC, whether it was a federal shutdown, whether it was a state shutdown, or even if it was a local city shutdown. Yeah. So, if you live in Salt Lake City or New York City or LA, okay, and you have the mayor saying, hey, folks, either A, you have to board your business up, or B, you're a restaurant and we're telling you no more dine in. We can't do it. Well, that's a partial suspension of your business, because even though you could do curb pickup and takeout, your dine in was more than a nominal impact of your business. That's what this is designed to help those businesses qualify for these tax credits.
It's great information. How do you and Michael work together on this?
Well, Michael is kind of, I guess you would say he's kind of my mentor. Former active duty Air Force, served our country. He's actually the same age as my father, served in the Marine Corps. And so, so he's one of my mentors. So we work together. Federal Payroll Tax Recovery is the firm that we work with together. And there's just so many business owners that need help. Michael and I have known each other for quite a while, and he just said, man, I want to lock arms with you, because this is the kind of stuff that I want to do to make a difference in America and make a difference in the business owners. So we work together.
Okay.
Yeah, Steve. So I would say that I'm the affiliate evangelist for Steve. And we got this vertical that we're focused on with ERC, but I talk to the people about the horizontal right now, and the horizontal is the runway. We have a runway that extends till next April. So we need to get everybody that can see if they qualify in the funnel, so they don't miss they don't crash on the runway. They get a launch off the runway before the runway ends.
Awesome. I was going to talk about the deadline. So the deadline's April when?
2024.
April 15, 2024. So it's a little more than a year away. And that's important. I think that's one question, and I'm glad you mentioned that, Michael, that I get asked. I hear there's a deadline. I don't have the answer. Now I do, so I can share it with them, share this show with them. I think that's an important distinction, because people, I'll wait, I'll get to it. I don't have time to get to my paperwork. I'll get you my paperwork, which you all have to do. Who should they reach out to? Both of you, the listeners on the show, or you tell me. You tell my listeners who they should reach out to.
Well, Michael's kind of like the tip of the spear. I am more, I would say, kind of operations, where I kind of make sure that everything functions right from the online application standpoint. And then we have a team of individuals that once someone completes their application, number one, they may need some time with Michael or myself. Number one. Number two, they're going to bump into some problems, let's say with, I don't know how to get my payroll summary off my QuickBooks, or how do I request it from ADP or QuickBooks, Gusto, or Paychex, any of these great payroll companies. And then asking about the 941s. We go through and we do all of, I'll use underwriting, since I've been in the financial industry for 35, almost 40 years now. And so we create a full financial underwriting package that we send in to the actual company that does the analysis. Okay. So this company is the largest company in the United States. They've completed over 40,000 businesses in the last 15 months. So that's $6 billion in refunds that have already been completed. So this is not a startup operation where someone decided, hey, I think I'm going to get in on this, which there are a lot of these companies at the very last, and even some of them have good intentions. But this is not something that you need to trust, because the complex calculations is really what I would call the secret sauce. Okay, can your CPA do it? Absolutely. Is this something that CPAs want to do? No. They tell me time and again, Steve, this is not my niche. I have to do everything and understand the entire 75,000 pages of the Internal Revenue Code. This 175 pages of ERC is too specific. It's too, what would you call it, niche, that you really need more experience. And 40,000 at-bats means that we have the experience. We have seen more what-ifs, unique scenarios. And we also have created a board of advisors that include a former federal attorney general, as well as a sitting attorney general in the state of Utah right now. And they joined our advisory board because both of them have a background in finance from, working at a federal level and the state level. And I think that's important, because when you look at the pedigree of the company that's going to do your complex calculations, not only do you want them to understand the tax legal standpoint, the accounting, CPA, bookkeeping standpoint, also the payroll standpoint. And those three dimensions have to be taken together to be comprehensive. And if you're just doing one of the dimensions, you're going to miss something. And that's what we don't want business owners to suffer through.
I love that. So since you're the tip of the spear, the point of contact, Michael, can you do a shout out how people can reach out to you?
Yeah, they can, right now they can reach me at 408-234-0045, or they can reach me at https://infone.co/mscoach, and they can get a hold of me. The MS Coach is also shows part of my real estate affiliation, but basically I'm focused on a ERC for the next 24 months. The next 12 months.
Sure.
Fantastic. So you mentioned CPAs. Are there any other partners that you're looking for besides CPAs that don't want to do the ERC that you want to connect with to help their clients guide through the ERC? Like financial advisor?
Financial advisors and investment planners. Okay. You have to think about this. And I've spoken with a couple of my friends that run hedge funds. If on average, we're talking about 9 to 10 employees, that we are able to get them an average return of somewhere between $275,000 to $300,000. Okay. And that's assuming they didn't get PPP loan money. So if they got PPP loan money, we will do the proper offsetting. So it'll be less. So you don't want to double dip. You want to follow all the complex calculations. And we do all that for you. But from whether it's a financial advisor or investment advisor, this capital, when it comes back in, if it's not being used necessarily to rebuild the company's war chest, let's call it, okay, or to repay the business owner that had to dig into their own pockets or their retirement account. Let's say they had the capital to do it. This comes back to them and can be used as an opportunity to invest because it's a windfall. It's money they didn't expect to get, didn't know they had coming. And so this is, it's an opportunity. And I've spoken with a lot of individuals, even financial individuals, and they said, I don't know if this is something that I particularly had a loss in my business. And I said, well, do you know businesses that did have a loss? Yes. How about nonprofits? How about your church? Are they suffering? Yeah. I said, okay, so if you get this refund back to you, it's not a taxable event, so there's no income tax due on it. Okay, it's a tax credit as a refund. You can take that and give it to your favorite 501c3 charity and help them. You give it to the St. Jude's organization, a great cancer organization. Give it to your local church that's suffering, that needs to help other people. This has every opportunity to do all the above.
It's a great gift. And that's what you're talking about. And you guys walk them through that. And as you said earlier, a lot of people don't know about this. And you've really broken it down to what people do. And audience, I beg you, I challenge you, reach out to Michael. Just do the test. 12 minutes of your day could be hundreds of thousands in your pocket, which again, I've got to find a company I was part of to get a piece of this, because this is awesome. And you do it quite well. As I've told you guys, there's a lot of people that do it, but you guys really broken it down to simplify it for people. Steve, you wrote a book. I love to give my audience some great wisdom and advice. What did you write, and what was the book about, and why?
Well, just show you a quick copy of it there. So Beyond Success, I was privileged to be able to write about a story of my life back in 2019. And what I basically outlined is, when life gets difficult, what do you use as the motivator to keep you putting your boots on the deck again, okay? For me, just not steal necessarily the end, because everyone won't have a chance to read the book, but mine was called a gravestone experience. And through those difficult days that I was going through, and my family got broken apart, and I, wasn't able to stay with my children, and going through those difficulties, one of the things that kept me going is thinking about what I wanted on my gravestone. And I had two options. I think we all have two options. My first option was, my children would write, "Here lies an average man like everyone else." The other option was a shorter epitaph that just said "worthy." And every day I think, even when I get knocked down and I'm tired and I feel like, man, I can't go any further, right? We're helping so many people with ERC, and the hours are long, the weeks are longer. And I think, I don't want my children to ever think when dad's gone that he just did average performance. I want them to have in their soul that he did something that was above and beyond, that made his life worthy. So that's what I wrote the book about. That's what I get up every day for.
A great book, great message. So thank you for writing that book. God bless you. Anything else you guys want to share? We're at the end of our time here. Anything else that we missed? Go ahead, Michael.
Steve, I think what connected Steve and I was, we're both veterans. And I think we connected on veterans. There's veterans businesses out there that need help. There's patriotic businesses out there that need help. And we need to get this message out, because like everything, life's a war a little bit. And I think everybody feels a little beat up. And with the ERC opportunity that presents itself to all the businesses out there, all the veterans can make a decision, make a difference, and we can help other veterans recover their businesses where they invested in when they got out of the service and they wanted to give back. Now we can give back so they can continue to give back.
Great message, great mission. Thank you both for your service. And thank you for being on the show. This has been fantastic. I've learned a lot about ERC. Again, I'm going to say for the third time, I got to find a company that I could get this. But if you haven't, if you got a company, reach out to Michael, get connected, spend 12 minutes of your life. It'll be well worth it. Even if you don't know, you know that you're not getting it, but at least know that you were qualified or not. With that being said, Steve, what piece of advice can you give my listeners that's helped you through your journey that they could help them in their journey in life and business?
Wow. I think it all comes back to that concept that Simon Sinek kind of jumped out 10 years ago. It's called the Golden Circle. If you haven't watched that TED Talk that he did, he's now a major platform speaker, and I think he's due all of that recognition. But everybody talks about what they do. They talk about how they do it. But I think we've spent time here talking about why we do it, whether it's helping veterans, whether it's helping American businesses, all those end up helping America. And I think with everything that is being, the difficulties, real estate looks like it's starting to drop after, exceptional rises. Interest rates, inflation is skyrocketing. There's all kind of political issues, the war in Ukraine. There's all these things that are causing a lot of unrest. And at the end of the day, America has got to maintain itself as the shining hope of this world.